Hey, welcome back. Today we're on tip number 5 of our series on how to raise capital. And today we're going to talk about leveraging the other O.P.M. So if you're looking to skyrocket your capital raising endeavors, you really want to tap into what I call the other O.P.M. So on today's video, we're going to discover exactly what that is, how you can leverage people's platforms and the audiences they've spent months, years, decades creating in order for you to access new people and raise a lot more capital. So stay tuned. All right, so first of all, what is the other O.P.M? So the first O.P.M is other people's money. The second, the other O.P.M, is other people's media. So this is a wonderful resource for you and I as real estate entrepreneurs to do so many different things, to build up our credibility, build up our authority, reach out to more people, increase our network, connect with other people in the industry, learn from the experts. There's so many benefits to leveraging other people's media. So when I'm talking about other people's media here, I'm not talking about TV and radio and all the big stuff. I'm talking about podcasts. I'm talking about YouTube channels. I'm talking about Facebook groups and Facebook Lives and social media platforms. That's what I'm talking about. A way for us to leverage the groups and the followers and the fans and the friends that other people have gathered and that we can get free exposure to. Now, here's the big thing. I've been in this business for a long time. I've got a whole bunch of different platforms. So podcasting is my big thing. I've also got YouTube channels. That's what you're on right now. I've also done all sorts of different things with, Facebook groups and things like that. And the leverage I've gotten from being a guest on other people's platforms has been absolutely huge. This is a big way that I create traffic, I create clients for my consulting business, is by getting exposure on other people's platforms. And here's the good news. This is something that we show our clients as well on how they can get onto other people's platforms to help them raise more capital. So that's what this video is all about. So what are the different platforms? Well, again, the big ones are YouTube and podcasting. Podcasting is probably the biggest one, as well as Facebook groups. And we're going to really show you how to leverage these and get onto these platforms. You might not be convinced that you want to be on other people's media, other people's platforms, but there are some really big reasons why you'd want to. So I'm going to list the top 5 reasons you want to get on O.P.M, other people's media. Reason number 1 is the credibility boost that it gives you, not just within the real estate investing industry, but also with your own existing connections. So have you ever had the situation where you're kind of the best kept secret amongst your friends and your family members? You've been working hard at real estate investing, but nobody else really quite understands what you do outside of your local real estate meetup and RIA groups and Facebook groups and stuff like that. Your friends and your family don't really get what you do. Well, when you get exposure on O.P.M, other people's media, not only do you get access to their friends, followers, connections database, you also get to show off to your inner circle, right? So if you leverage your appearance on somebody else's media, your podcast guest experience, for example, and you show your sphere that you've been interviewed by somebody, that's going to go a long way to boosting up your authority and your credibility in the eyes of your friends, family members, and coworkers. So that is reason number 1. Reason number 2 is it gives you increased exposure and access to a brand new audience. So depending on whose show that you're on or whose YouTube channel you're on or whose Facebook you're on, you might be getting exposure to a few dozen people, a few hundred people, or a few thousand people or more, depending on who it is and how much of a following they have. So this is huge leverage. I mean, think about it. Back in the day, I remember I'd go around to different RIAs and real estate investment clubs and real estate groups. There might be 30, 40, 50, up to 100 people at a meeting. If there were 100 people at a meeting, that was a pretty good sized crowd. Well, now you're able to access that kind of a group who is specifically there to listen to you. So this is absolutely huge. You are getting a shortcut to a much, much bigger audience than you could on your own. You're able to expand your network by being on other people's media. Reason number 3 is this is a great way for you to network and connect with other movers and shakers in the industry. So for example, if you're getting booked on podcasts, this is a great way for you to get to know the podcast host. This is something that I focused on years ago and got booked on over 150 shows. Well, guess what? I've made 150 connections with those podcast hosts, with those YouTube channel creators, with those Facebook group owners. I've made those connections, and a lot of those have turned into us doing business together, cross-promotional opportunities, etc. You can do the same thing. This is a great way to connect with the host of the show. Doesn't have to be a real estate investor host. This could be somebody in your local area who has a podcast or a show. You connect with them. You connect with their network as well. So this is a great way to meet the host. Big reason number 4 to get exposure on O.P.M. is this is a great way for you to expand your influence, to influence other people, to inspire other people to share your story. So a lot of us, when we're getting interviewed on shows and whatnot, it's not just about what's in it for me. It's what value can I bring to the audience? How can I help somebody who's maybe a step or two behind where I'm at get to where they want to go? How can I help people avoid the mistakes I've made in the past? How can I give somebody a little bit of a shortcut to get and accomplish their goals? So that really makes you feel good at the end of the podcast, especially if somebody reaches out to you and says, hey, I loved your interview. I really got a lot out of it. Thank you so much for sharing. And that's what you're going to get too when you get these kind of opportunities to be on other people's media. And last but not least, reason number 5 is because this is a great way to increase traffic to wherever you want it to go. So let's say, for example, you've got a website or you've got a Facebook page or even your Facebook profile or your LinkedIn profile, and you want to get more connections who are really dialed in with what you're doing. Well, get interviewed on somebody else's media, on somebody else's platform, and then push the listener to your platform to find out and connect more with you. Those people that go there are going to be highly, highly qualified. So there you go. There are so many different reasons for wanting to be on other people's media. I highly recommend that you take a serious look at that. And if you like the idea of being interviewed on a podcast, well, I've got you covered. I've got one of those. In fact, I got 2 different podcasts. I'd love to interview you on one of my shows. So to find out more, you can go to daveinterviewsyou.com. Pick a day and a time. Let's jump on Zoom. Let's do the interview. It's going to be a lot of fun. And if you like these tips and strategies around, quick tips for raising capital, I've got a new resource for you. It's my new ebook. It's called Be Seen to Get the Green. We go over this tip and a bunch of others. You can get a free copy. Just click on the link in the description below. Take care, and we'll talk to you on the next hot tip.